Good morning and welcome to the Pen Doodling channel. This is Oliver, as usual coming to you from the beautiful seaside town of Youghal in Ireland over here in Europe. And this is the third video in the series on, what did we call it? Curl up and sleep, something like that. And this video we're going to look at the third embellishing of this piece. And what I decided was that little bit of a curve, I wanted to repeat it off the other animal, whatever we call these animals now. Started off as, I think they were worms, but I don't think they're worms anymore. At this stage, I think I'm using a 0.3mm pen. Yes, it is a 0.3mm pen. Now, it took me a long time to try and work out, well, what am I going to do with this design? On the part that we finished, if you remember from part 2, and by the way, there will be a link up there, top right hand corner. If you click on the eye icon, you'll see a link to part 2 and to part 1 if you want to go back and see how we got this far. I was thinking it was a type of an underwater seascape that we were doing there, and I had bubbles of air coming from the bottom of the sea up towards the top, and some weeds and whatever else that grows at the bottom of the sea. I'm not sure what it would be. And I liked this idea of a shape here between the two halves. I wasn't sure what that shape would end up as, but I said it would be a nice way of separating the two pieces, and that we could keep the sea motif going in both of those worlds, we'll call it, that both of those worlds would be similar, with this part in the middle dividing it out. And also at this stage I was thinking that the top left hand quadrant, I wanted to leave that white or near white, as if we have the dark depths of the sea or a pond or something where you've got a lot of muck and everything down there, but up above I wanted it to be more, I don't know, more like spring, if that makes any sense to you. Now these little yokies that I'm drawing in here that grow, I still am not sure how to do them. I didn't enjoy doing this part. I don't think I'm doing them very well. Now again, I got these from Miss Betsy, and I put a link up there to her handle at Betsy_JAE. Well worth going having a look at her YouTube channel. So like the other side, I went now to scribbling. I'm a great scribbler. I love scribbling, and I hope that you've taken out your pen and paper and coming along here. Or if you're not coming along doing what I'm doing, I hope you're just doing some exercises. Like get your pen and start scribbling. Do a couple of squares. One of them scribble that you're going upwards, another one scribble going sideways. Then work out how can you change the light that is in each square, which one looks darker than the other one, and just get used to doing that you can, I don't know, I can't really explain it. It's the way that you feel the pen, that the pen is only dancing over the paper, that the marks are coming automatically. You're not thinking in your head what the marks are. You just know that you want it to move. Here I was thinking about this creature over on the right hand side and the flowers. They were sticking out too much, so I wanted to hide them a little bit more with the weeds. Just let the weeds come up a little bit on them. Whereas on the left hand side, if you see on the right hand side, the bubbles are up at the top. On the left hand side, no bubbles, a little darker, and it's a very well contained world that we have there. So now what do I do with the middle world? Well, again, I wanted to put a boundary between it and the air above. I was looking upon the top part as being the air, and everything underneath that is either a pond or something enclosed anyway. And what better way to enclose something than our good old reliable stones that I've used in so many of these videos now. And I was trying in this video to only introduce maybe one extra concept in every one of the videos. And so you've done the stones before, we've done everything else before. So I wanted to keep it accessible to you. Okay, so again, the only way you're going to do these is by trial and error and practice. I think I'll stay quiet now and I'll just listen to the music, because that's what this is all about, relaxing. And when I can't think of what to do, I draw lines. So I decided I'd put in a bit of a barrier here. So these will I call the pebbles. So above it will be stones and below it will be sand. I like to do these border things every now and then to demarcate the different worlds or the different portions of the world. Like above it will be brighter, below it will be darker. And that's why you need to be good at mark making. Because no matter what you're doing, even doodling, we're still making marks. So do you want to make a dark mark or a light mark? Always have that in your mind. Now, if you remember on the other videos when we filled in these stones, I always filled in the gaps between the stones black, and it made a good contrast. But this time I didn't want to do this. I was now beginning to visualize that this is a vase with a whole load of stones in it and maybe water in the vase, so that, 'cause I was thinking now, if up at the top we had something growing out of it, it might bring everything together and give a reason for all of these different places. So this is when I started mark making again with my scribbling. I didn't want to fill it in totally black, but I did want to have it different to the texture of the stone itself. And again, the pen just flies over the paper. It has its own mind. I'm not actually trying to work out what sort of a line it is. It just does it itself. So you should practice that. Very, very, very relaxing. But then the question was, well, what sort of flowers will I have up at the top? And these stones are looking a little bit too white, so I'll throw in a few more marks in there and let's see how it goes. But try not to destroy it. I was beginning to like now the way this was coming together. And see these curves? Okay, I wanted something that will follow the curves. So it's not a small bunch. It's more like something hanging. Just a couple of petals on it. Something simple. That is, it's going to be contrasting to what's down that we've done so far. So far everything has been kind of dense. This is not. This is more free-flowing, light and airy. And full of mistakes, as you can see. But that's what you find is, okay, this was my first time to do the leaf. I should have done it on a scrap of paper first so that my eye and pen and hand were in unison, but I didn't do it. Yep, that would be about right. Another one coming down there over that shell. The first one I did it using a 0.1 and I felt that the lines were a little bit too light, so I switched over now to a 0.3. And at the start I'm still not drawing the petals very well, but give me a little bit now and I start getting into the rhythm here. That's it now, that's the way to do it. That's into the rhythm at long last. So there'd have to be another one there in the center, but I thought, well, before you do it, maybe fill out that horizontal barrier a bit with petals or lower flowers. And then we can let the final stalk grow out of it. Then I decided to just stick in the central spine of these leaves. It sort of gives it a little bit more dimensionality. I think I'm improving a bit in terms of videoing. At least the camera seems to be recording everything that I'm doing. I'm not doing so much off camera now. Yeah, another one now using the 0.3, I think. I didn't want it too big. I didn't want it going all the way over into the corner. There we go. I'm into my stride now. I know how to do it. So try that as well yourselves if you haven't done it before. You know, what is the best way of putting in these little petals or leaves? Which way does the pen flow naturally for you? There we go, we're almost finished at this stage. Just fill in a couple of shadows there because there's bound to be shadows there at the bottom, or sorry, at the barrier, at the bottom of the flowers, but the top of the stones. Just put in a few more little leaves there, petals. That's it. Beginning to look good now. I'm quite happy with it at this stage. If you like what I'm doing, if you like these type of videos, and this type of doodling, be sure and subscribe, and if you are subscribing, click the bell as well so that you'll know when the next one comes out. You'll automatically get a notification about it. I'm fairly happy with that now. So that's all I have to say at this stage. Thank you very much for watching. As usual, at the end, always sign your work. That's very important. Be proud of what you're doing. And that's me on the 8th of March, and it was nice being with you, and I hope I'll see you again in the not too distant future. Till then, Slán Tamil.